To make the best use of this course, you should treat each problem like it is an actual interview question and work your way through it. I encourage you to try and solve each problem before watching the solution video. This will help you emulate a real live interview environment, and so you can get more realistic practice. If you have trouble figuring out a question at first, that is fine. Rewatch that question video. Take a look at the question's source code and do your best to work through the problem, even if you are not completely sure what the answer is. Talk out loud and walk through your approach to the problem and your train of thought. This step is very important because in interviews, they like to see what your thought process is and how you react when you don't know the answer to a problem. You should not give up too quickly or panic if a problem seems hard. Just relax and give it your best shot. Throughout this course, there will be a variety of different types of questions. There will be questions that simply ask you to explain and describe certain JavaScript concepts. There will also be questions that may ask you to code out a function or algorithm that works in a specific way. And there will also be questions to ask you to examine a block of code and determine what the result will be when the code is ran. The purpose of having all these various different types of questions is that in interviews, there is usually a variety of question styles anyway. So the variety of questions in this course will help you prepare mentally well for any number of questions that you may be asked. I also want to note that as the course progresses, the topics become more advanced and loosely build on top of each other. And so it is beneficial to go through the questions in order. However, you can also feel free to jump around as you please if you want to practice other types of questions instead on your own time. For most of this course, we will be working at the website replit.com, which is a website that allows you to run JavaScript code in the browser, among other languages. So you should head over to replit.com. This is where we will be doing most of the work for this course. You will either need to log in if you already have an account, or sign up for one if you don't have one. Once you are logged in or have created a new account and logged in, go to the sidebar and click the Create button. Then select Node.js as the desired language. And here you can create any title for your new REPL.it editor. This is usually pre-populated randomly by REPL.it. Then click Create REPL. Over here in this area is where we will write our JavaScript code, and I will just paste some code here now as an example. If we run the code by pressing this button up here, we can see the result logged out in the console over here for each section. I encourage you to copy the question source code and paste it into this area here, so that you can explore what is happening in the code. Throughout this course, there are a few things I want you to remember. One is that you should not run the code until you have tried to figure out a solution to the problem. If you run the code before trying to figure it out by yourself at all, you're basically giving yourself the answer, and this will not be beneficial for you at all. Number two is that sometimes you may see warning signals pop up in your code, like with this squiggly line here. When you hover over the line, it will give you hints on how to optimize your code. but you should never hover over them before you solve the problem because they might give you hints as to what the solution is. And so it may not be helpful for you to learn. Instead, I strongly recommend you go to the settings gear icon over here. Scroll down and disable code intelligence. So now if you refresh the page, you will see that the squiggly line here is gone. This is good because this will enforce you to try to understand what may or may not be wrong with the code first, without relying on the editor's hints. So I encourage you to disable code intelligence until you have solved the problem. Okay, cool. This sums up the introduction to this course. We are now ready to get into the course material and start doing some actual JavaScript practice questions. Good luck with the problems in this course. Remember to stay calm and just do your best. See you in the first lesson.